Want to hear the shocking truth? In Lagos, the road transport union system is more than just chaotic. It's a billion-naira cartel. In fact, informal transport workers, known as Agberos, generate more revenue daily than 35 out of 36 Nigerian states. And guess what? The money doesn't show up in any government account. It lines the pockets of a few powerful individuals who've legalized extortion in broad daylight. In this expose, we break down how Agberos took over Lagos, how politicians use them, and how the public is the ultimate victim of a system that thrives on silence, fear, and corruption. Let's go back in time. The formation of motor transport unions was a novel development in colonial Nigeria. These unions emerged to protect the collective interests of road transport workers in response to colonial policies that favored railway transport. In the West, there was the Western Provinces Drivers Union and the Nigerian Motor Workers Union in the East. Their influence was felt as early as 1937, when they successfully resisted an attempt by the colonial government to impose higher taxes on drivers. Over time, more unions sprang up, organized by region, shared interests, or membership type. But in 1978, the military government of General Olusegun Obasanjo issued the Trade Unions Amendment Decree, which merged all the small, scattered unions into one centralized body, the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW. At first, the NURTW stayed true to its mission, advocating for members' rights and welfare. The union focused on typical trade union duties, resolving disputes, negotiating worker benefits, and ensuring fair treatment for its members. But that focus would soon shift when General Babangida's regime introduced the Structural Adjustment Program in the late 1980s. Public services, including transportation, were heavily privatized. This led to the rise of private transport giants like the Young Shall Grow Motors. Suddenly, many drivers abandoned government-owned buses and went independent. This left the NURTW with fewer official members and a shrinking role in the industry. Instead of adjusting to this new landscape with reforms, the union held on, shedding many of its responsibilities and slowly morphing into a self-serving power structure. But it didn't stop there. When Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor of Lagos in 1999, the game changed again. Agberos, once informal street hustlers, were now officially integrated into the structure of the NURTW. The word Agberos is a Yoruba phrase meaning the one who calls passengers. Originally, they were just young hustlers, not part of any drivers' union, who hung around bus parks, helping drivers call or load passengers. It was simple. They'd approach a parked bus, talk to the driver, help fill it up with passengers, and once the bus was full, collect the agreed fee. The NURTW, once an independent trade union, became further compromised, and the Agberos, once known to aid commercial drivers, completed their full transition into a money-making machine. Under Tinubu's administration, the activities of the Agberos and the union became fully institutionalized and replicated across all 37 local council development areas he created. The governor was known to support the late Honorable Ademola to properly structure the group internally, allowing for easy monitoring and identification. These Agberos was reportedly absorbed into various government branches, adorning different uniforms and even extending their informal taxes to local market traders.
There are those touts that are looking for their daily bread, and in the way and manner they do it is uncalled for. They can do and undo without them being checked. You will see an Agbero guy harassing the driver in front of the police or the military guy, and nothing will be done. And it's not supposed to be so. Imagine 2024 in the 21st century and a guy running after a bus on the highway. What if he gets hit?
With unemployment skyrocketing among the youths, the Agbero became a lucrative business for those brave enough to join and willing enough to be used as tools of forceful extortion.
Now, oníṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ tá à ń ṣe, àwọn gáyẹ̀ tó ló pọ̀ lórí iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe. But tó bá súnmọ́ wọn, o ò ní mọ̀. La máa fojú òfin àwọn ilé tout. Wọ́n ṣe tout o, Agbero wọ́n wà l'Amẹ́ríkà, wọ́n ta wọ́n ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ tó dáa. Ó dẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ tó bá dẹ̀ rá àwọn ọmọ wọn tó bá ní national lè mo máa dá Agbero oṣù mọ́.
But to the politicians, these weren't just hustlers anymore. They were foot soldiers, ready to obey, disrupt, and dominate the streets. This meant Agberos were no longer just street touts or union members. They had government backing. Union leaders began forming strategic alliances with political godfathers, offering manpower during campaigns, rallies, and elections. In some cases, political factions break out within these Agberos, where they become conflicted between serving the interest of a current government or the opposition. In a certain rally preceding the 2019 gubernatorial elections, members of the NURTW and its leader were attacked by what was believed to be a disagreeing faction of the union, leading to the stabbing of MC Olomo, leader of the union. The attacking faction was alleged to have attacked out of their loyalty to the then current governor, whom they believed was being forced by the political godfathers to drop his ambitions for a second tenure. With such a level of rascality existing in the Lagos political sphere executed by Agberos, no politicians would totally want their total alienation, as the Agberos are in themselves a political currency and key to the gold mine embedded along the roads of Lagos. According to reports from the International Center for Investigative Reporting, Lagos Agberos made an estimated 123 billion naira from dues, levies, and tolls collected from buses and transport operators. Bus drivers, popularly known as Danfo drivers, pay over 3,000 to 5,000 naira daily just to operate. Both tricycle and motorcycle riders are not exempt from this extortion, as they remit not less than 2,000 naira and 1,000 naira respectively every single day. As of 2021, the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority estimates the presence of about 75,000 commercial buses in the state, meaning that if each bus pays about 3,000 naira in ticket fees, the NURTW is likely to collect about 225 million naira each day. The same goes for commercial tricycles, which reportedly number over 50,000 in the state and generate about 90 million naira each day in ticket fees. Combining that with the 37,000 commercial motorcycles, popularly known as Okada, operating in Lagos, the union-backed Agberos collect an estimated sum of 340 million naira a day and over 10 billion naira every month, more than the monthly internally generated revenue of most Nigerian states. The shocking part, that money isn't officially documented in state revenue books, while it is officially on record that road taxes are among the 25 taxes collected by the Lagos state government. Reports show that there are barely any traces of remittance to the treasury on this tax, despite a year worth of it capable of paying off 24% of the state's entire debt. Not even the executive chairman of the Lagos Internal Revenue Services was willing to provide information on the accumulated earnings on this tax. When requested by investigators, the Commissioner for Finance also went silent on the request. Even the National Bureau of Statistics, together with its entitlement to financial data from all states, lack any information on it. For all we know, this money is controlled by the union leadership, who have close political ties to the ruling class in Lagos. Hence, it is not even difficult to deduce multiple reasons why the Lagos state government has chosen to look the other way while the oppressive system of road governance continues to thrive. The union also claims to remain in the business of protecting commercial drivers, highlighting an example where their cordial relationship with law enforcement agencies has led to the reduction of official fine levied on drivers who break traffic rules. In March 2022, significant organizational shifts occurred within the union when the Lagos state government suspended its operations, citing internal conflicts and leadership crisis. Furthermore, the government established the Lagos State Parks and Garages Management Committee to oversee transport activities. This newly formed body was not only chaired by MC Oluomo, who had previously served as the Lagos State NURTW chairman. It allegedly absorbed former members of the disbanded union. In fact, it was reported that nothing changed at all, as the PMS was just a new name for the same organization. Later in September 2023, this so-called new committee was dissolved, and the National Union of Road Transport Workers, after close to 2 years of indefinite suspension, was reinstated. Other Nigerian states have taken a firmer stance, like in 2019, when Oyo State Governor imposed a statewide ban on the NURTW, citing widespread impunity and a lack of transparency. But in Lagos, the ruling party has resisted outright bans. Deputy Governor Hamzat emphasized that Agberos are local citizens who must be dealt with carefully. But what does this mean for the average commuter and drivers? Being on the wrong side of their book can be a nightmare for any Lagosian, as these Agberos virtually control the streets and consolidate their strength in numbers. For the drivers on the road, refusing to pay their levies potentially translated into having a part of their car damaged or removed. Many commercial drivers have derided these methods, stating that the transport business is no longer what it used to be. This extra cost is pushed to passengers in the form of higher fares. Lagosians end up paying more to move around, while the government does little to regulate or formalize the system. So, who really runs Lagos? On paper, it's the governor and lawmakers. But in reality, Lagos is run by an unelected, unregulated group of union strongmen who control the streets, extort the masses, and serve the political class. They are protected by power, legalized by silence and funded by the very people they oppress. The public representation of the union seems to mirror everything that has gone wrong in Nigeria over the course of the past 70 years. Violent patronage politics, everyday street corruption, and the widespread extortion of citizens. And as long as this system remains unchecked, Lagos will never become a modern city, because the roads may be government-owned, but the streets belong to the Agberos. This is not just bad governance, it's legalized daylight robbery.